Welcome to the Toy Rewind Podcast with your hosts, the Brothers Newland. Now, let's talk toys.
And we're back. I am Michael.
I'm John.
And I'm Andrew. And this week on the Toy Rewind podcast, you're listening to episode 97. 97. I was right. I was off. I was thinking I was off for a minute. 97. We are going to rewind this week back to 1997. And we're going to talk about a toy, another small digital pet. Like we talked about the Tamagotchi last week. This week, we're talking about the Giga Pets released by Tiger Electronics. They basically are the GoBots to the Transformers. These are the somebody decided to copy something because somebody else was successful. The only difference is GoBots technically came out before Transformers or whatever, but they were the inferior product. By the way, John, that's the word we were looking for last week, is inferior, since all we could think of was not as good. So this week we're talking about Giga Pets.
Actually, Andrew, you're probably wrong on that, because actually these were created before Tamagotchi.
So these really are the GoBots of the Transformer line. They are officially the GoBots of the digital pets, because these things are, to me, and most people that I know of, these are not as good as the Tamagotchis. So before we can talk about that, John, why don't you roll your little thing that you do?
All right. So social networks, where to find us. Check our websites over at toyrewindpodcast.com or over at crossthestreamsmedia.com. You can leave us a voicemail on Cross the Streams Media, of course. We'd love to hear them, so please do. You can email us at You can email us at toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com. Our Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch is all Toy Rewind Pod. Facebook and YouTube is Toy Rewind Podcast. Make sure you put that in there. Then I know Michael's been doing some Motoring Mondays on our YouTube channel and stuff, so make sure you're watching for those. And then, as always, if you want to play a little game and try to get a bingo, go to podcastbingo.com/Toy Rewind and let us know what you get.
Be sure you do that. That's I know me and Michael were just talking about it. Hopefully, John, you'll be able to join us whenever we do it. We are talking about it live because we got some of the new Super Friends toys. I got the Batman. I got the Batwing. Finally got it. I'm really itchy to open that Batwing. Not as itchy about the Batman because just looking at it through the package, it does not look as nice as the original Super Friends, but it'll be nice to see a comparison. I'll be able to compare size with my Penguin. Michael, I know you've got Flash?
I got Flash and Green Lantern as
and
well.
Green Lantern, yeah.
And I got a Penguin too, but my Penguin's not complete like yours is.
Yeah, so we can compare some sizes. We don't have the actual ones that we have, but we can compare a few things, kind of look at them and see how they're doing. So, John, if you're watching, I don't want to just avoid this. We've finally gotten John to come out of the closet, and John got. I was
actually able to come out of the closet. So my daughter moved out. I'm working on my office and everything now, so everything's kind of in the works. So my background has changed, but
it's changed
some of my other stuff that has not been seen is being able to be seen. And then I don't know how much toys are going to be able to be seen every day, but I've got a lot more room in here.
He almost had a live audience too, because he's got a couch there in that room too.
Oh yeah, I kicked him out because there's a couch right across from me, and Megan and Jackson were trying to sit in here. I was like,
"Yeah, you need to be like, no,
y'all gotta go."
That's too distracting.
But again, if y'all hear some random noises, this is new. This is the first time we recorded with me in this room. Jackson's room's right there, so Who knows what we'll hear?
As long as he doesn't come through the wall, I think you'd be all right.
They'll just come through the door.
You know? Yeah.
Anyway,
So
no, the door doesn't have a lock on it. Sorry.
Nice to see we're all in a much better much like easier place to record or whatnot. I'm still in a basement.
Yeah,
but it's nice and cozy and comfy down here.
It's kind of cool in this room, so I might have to be wearing a jacket occasionally. I didn't realize how warm that closet had gotten, right. And I'm used to it.
Just get you a nice little hoodie there, John. It all worked out. So, all right. Well, let's get rewinding and talk about some toys. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Let's rewind and get into it.
All right. So, Giga Pets. We're going to talk about some Giga Pets. Giggity.
Giga what?
So, these were first created in 1995 as V-Pets by a Chicago toy inventing firm called Rico LLC, and it's spelled REHCO. So, this company actually, when they came up with this idea, and like I said, it was just a toy inventing firm. They actually quickly licensed this concept to Tiger Electronics. I know we spoke about Tiger Electronics before with Furby. So
Furby, Michael's favorite.
Nah, it's not my favorite. So these actually, no, they were licensed to Tiger Electronics, and then the product was later launched as Giga Pet. So it was actually called V-Pets to start off with, when the concept was come up with everything. So, as we talked about last week, in 1996, Tamagotchi was introduced to Japan by Bandai, and these were widely credited with initiating the virtual pet craze in the U.S., UK, and other countries. So in May of 1997, the Giga Pets actually debuted. And again, like we talked about last week, the Tomagotchi debuted on May 1st in the U.S. of 1997. So they both came out about the same month of May of 97. Giga Pets were reported to be more readily available than Tamagotchis, I guess because Tiger Electronics is a U.S. company, so that's probably why. And Tamagotchis were being imported. And then the price was approximately $10 for a Giga Pet, where Tamagotchis were around $5. I mean, $15. So it was $5 cheaper for a Giga Pet. So Giga Pets. So kind of talk about the gameplay on Giga Pets. They're born on they have a tiny LCD screen. The case shell of it, whatever, Tamagotchis we talked about last week was an egg shape.
They were eggs, yeah.
Yeah, these were all different shapes. It just depended on what kind of creature, or they later got into licensing with different cartoons and movies and stuff like that. So it kind of depended on what kind of character you had. But when you get it, you pull a little tab on the back, and it comes on. The pet comes to life in different ways. You had, for example, when you had the baby T-Rex, it would hatch from an egg. The Compu Kitty, which is one of the cats, it was delivered by a stork. So it was different ways. This was more animals, and like I said, the cartoon related type stuff as well. Whereas the Tamagotchi was an alien that came down to observe human life and stuff like that, and you kind of raised it as you went. So
we all want to raise aliens.
Yeah. So once you get your pet, it arrives or gets hatched or whatever, you get a beeping sound and alert icon to notify the owner that the pet requires attention. So whenever you need something, you got a little alert. To determine what the Giga Pet needs, owners scroll through various activities, and then you select one. We included, you had bathing, you had exercise, you had discipline, feeding, stuff like that. Then sometimes, if a selected variety was refused by your pet, you always tried a different one because you got to figure out what he wanted. It kept a running score of what you did. Um, the higher the score, the better well-being your pet is. If you neglect it or whatever, if it goes down to 0, your pet dies. So if it dies, it gets little wings and flutters off like an
Fly
angel.
away.
Yeah, similar to Tamagotchi, kind of. The average life of a Giga Pet is 2 weeks, but if you have very healthy pets, they can live a little longer. So it can outlive whatever the 2 weeks that it's average. So another thing, when Giga Pets were initially tested, it was reported that the first thing most girls did was to name their pet, and then the boys, they opted to discipline the pet for some reason. So
I mean, that makes sense.
yeah.
So
So originally, when they came out that May of 1997, there was 3 versions that came out. You had Digital Doggy, CompuKitty, and Microchimp. So you had a dog, a cat, and a chimp. So by the summer of '97, they added 3 more versions to more appeal to boys. So you had the baby T-Rex, which was tied into the Lost World Jurassic Park movie. You had a virtual alien, and then you had Bit Critter. So I don't know what kind of critter it was. It was just some kind of critter. So not in September of '97, they added 3 more. You had Computer Koala, Floppy Frog, and then Salem the Cat that was tied in with Sabrina the Teenage Witch. So going on to November of '97, so every couple months they would add to the line. So November '97, KFC offered a special promotion, which offered 4 new Giga Pets. So you had Digipooch, Micro Pup, Cyber Kitty, and Bitty Kitty. So you had 2 dogs and 2 cats. These
Did
were
any chicken?
actually no chicken.
It'd been great if you get to raise your chicken and then
Chicken and eat it. That's not good. So these were identical to the Digital Doggy and CompuKitty from the original release, but they had new shell shapes and colors. So the little handheld piece was a different shape and the colors were different. So that was the only difference, really. Towards the end of '97, a second edition of 8 of the original Giga Pets were released with new clam designs and additional animal sound effects. So they actually put some sound effects with them. There was also 2 new Disney themed pets that were introduced. You had 101 Dalmatians, which was probably a dog, and then you had Little Mermaid, which was probably a fish. I didn't look up exactly what those are, but
I saw something on that one and it looked like it was a mermaid.
was it a mermaid?
I
Okay.
can't be,
Maybe it
I
was a
can't be
mermaid.
honest.
I mean, that would make
Why are
sense.
you Yeah.
Okay. So by the end of 1997, Tiger Electronics was one of many companies creating virtual pets. We already knew Bandai had Tamagotchi. So Tiger Electronics had Giga Pets. Playmate Toys had a version of their own. Fujitsu, which was an IT company from Japan, they had a virtual pet. PF Magic, which is a video game developer out of San Francisco at the time, they had one called Dogs and another one called Cats with a Z at the end of both those. They are actually now owned by Ubisoft. So if you go back and look at them, you'll know where they're from. So Sega had a version of a virtual pet. Viacom New Media had a version. Casio had their own, and then another company called Technosphere had one as well. So there was a lot of different companies coming in to add to that fad. So in 1998, there was 2 new series of Giga Pets that were introduced. There was Giga Pets Plus and a Giga Pet or Giga Fighters is what
Oh, the Giga Fighters. The only good thing that came out of Giga Pets.
Yeah. So Giga Pets Plus series allowed for having multiple pets within one toy. So you had different, more than one pet on that handheld. The series consisted of Giga Circus. There was Giga Farm, Giga Pound. There was a Looney Tunes. There was a Rugrats, a Bug's Life, and Small Soldiers, with each having multiple characters in them. So Giga Fighters was geared more towards boys and consisted of 6 units with characters from different TV shows and movies, including Men in Black, Mortal Kombat, WCW, NWO, Batman and Robin, The Lost World, which was Jurassic Park, and then Tech Warriors. So,
did you say Men in Black?
Men in Black was one.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So users could train their characters and connect their unit to other units to your friend. If your friend has one, you can connect them together, and then you can battle between each other. So, in addition to these two new series, Tiger also released several new pets as part of the standard Giga Pet line. The majority of the new pets were based on popular cartoons and movies. You had one of Reptar, which was from Rugrats. You had a Yoda from Star Wars, R2-D2 from Star Wars. You had a Rancor from Star Wars, Babe and Friends from Babe, which was the pig movie. You had Tweety from Looney Tunes, Tasmanian Devil from Looney Tunes, and then you had an Oreo mouse from Oreo Cookies. So I don't know where
What's an Oreo
that's in, but I don't know. A black and white mouse. There's also 2 that tied in with Barbie. You had Precious Puppy and Precious Kitty. These were identical to the Digital Doggy and Compu Kitty. Again, the first 2 original ones, but these were pink. Was the color of their shell. So.
If you Google Oreo mouse, most of them are like everything is Mickey Mouse, Disney stuff made with Oreos.
Okay.
I'm still trying. I'm gonna add Giga Pet. I want to see what this Oreo mouse is.
Yeah, Giga Pet Oreo mouse. Look that up. So by the end of '98, really the virtual pet craze. We kind of talked about this last week. So the virtual pet craze was starting to die down. Pretty much sales plunged nearly 80% in the U.S. for these things. So they had a good 2-run period, but Giga Pets actually lasted through 2000 or so. They still sold some, and then there was some that and then they reintroduced them again, like in 2006, similar to what Tamagotchi did. They were always out there, but they weren't as big as they were from 96 to 98 on these virtual pets. So yeah, so Andrew's got a picture of the Oreo Giga Pet.
So literally, it's an Oreo shaped.
Yeah.
Contraption.
Yeah, it's a mouse. It happens to be a mouse.
Your bet.
I will say they're a little dangerous with these little taglines they have. Name your pet, tame your pet, play games with your pet. You know, that just just like slightly. But do we say pet? But still, you know, interesting.
So, yeah, these all came with keychains, so you can hook them to your keys and stuff to carry them around, or hook them up to your pocket, whatever, your belt loop, whatever you want to do with it. So, so that's pretty much the history of Giga Pets. Not much to it, but there was several little things. Again, there was a lot of stuff that they kind of redid, like the dog and cat, which was just remakes, recolors or whatever of the first 2 or 3 of the Digital Doggy and the Compu Kitty on there. So
I personally liked the Giga Fighters. This is the only thing that came out of Giga Pets that I liked. The fact that you can combine them or connect them with your friends, and you could fight back and forth. You have that, you know.
How did those connect? I didn't see.
There's a little USB.
Okay.
That basically is a little USB, a little cable, and then there were some that actually just like clicked together.
Okay.
Or maybe they all did that, but most of them came with a US. Like if you didn't have your USB, I don't know.
I know we talked
remember.
about Tamagotchi last week having like an infrared.
Yeah,
connection
these
between it, so.
actually connected.
Okay.
And I do remember using playing with the Jurassic Park ones, the Men in Black, and the Mortal Kombat ones were fun. Those were the ones that I remember. Especially the Mortal Kombat. You're playing Mortal Kombat at home on your video games. This is like one of the ways that, besides going to an arcade at that point, that you could really play and actually fight each other.
Right.
Do something,
I get that.
Unless you went over to somebody's
cool,
house.
but I still think it was a couple years past me. So
yeah, definitely.
I probably thought I was too old for him.
And I was.
And if you were getting into him, I was
Andrew.
definitely too old for him.
I was gonna say I was, 2 years before. Like this is basically end of 7th grade through 8th grade, so this is like barely 2 years for me before I was like done with these.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because you were right before high school.
So it's kind of the sweet spot for you a little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
right
and like I said, the same thing with Tamagotchis. I never actually owned one. I just remember taking care of other people, having them around and seeing them, and you'd pass them around. Like it's not something that you actually had to have one. You just, I don't know. We all shared them or whatever.
Yeah.
So I never actually had one that was mine.
Yeah, I did look up to see what happened. Because your pet, when it dies, you don't take care of it, it ends up dying. It grows wings and becomes the angel. I was trying to figure out when they got into the licensing stuff with like the Looney Tunes and your Yoda, and you don't want to see Bugs Bunny dead or you don't want to see Yoda dead. So I kind of looked at the game. I found the instructions online on how to play each one individually. So the Looney Tunes, when your game's over on Looney Tunes, they never die. Your Looney Tunes don't die. So what they do is, if your total score drops below 20 points, they just pack up their things in a bag and walk off the screen. So that's what the Looney Tunes do.
They just walk up. They're like, "I'm done with you."
You got to keep them above 20% to keep your Looney Tunes happy. See the Rancor. The Rancor actually, when he dies, he grows wings. Rancor can die from bad health or old age. If your Rancor dies from bad health, you should restart. Oh, it says, but yeah, he's got his little picture of him with little wings flying around. But Yoda. So Yoda, when there's two ways for the game to end. Your score drops to 0. Yoda will dismiss you as his apprentice. So apparently you're like his apprentice or something. So he'll dismiss you as apprentice when it gets to 0. And then let's see. And then it also ends if you successfully complete your Jedi training after 14 days.
So you have 14 days to complete your Jedi training, and then.
Yeah. So Yoda will dismiss you as his apprentice. However, if you are doing very well, Yoda may decide to keep you on to teach you even greater secrets of the Force. If you keep your score above 95 points, Yoda will allow you to stay another day as long as you keep your score high enough. Yoda will keep teaching you.
So you can keep going as long as it
when the
stays
game
above 95?
ends, yeah, so you will receive a title based on how much you have learned, depending on how long you study with Yoda. You could achieve the title of Jedi, Jedi Knight, or Jedi Master. You can use the scroll through. Okay, just screen, but yeah. So Yoda doesn't die. He just says, if you get to 0, see ya. You're not my apprentice anymore. Yeah. So
that's
just
really
restart the game. Yeah. So.
That's kind of what they did with Anakin anyways. They're like, all right, you didn't make 14 days. We're done with you. We'll burn your legs off and you go do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. He didn't sprout wings and fly off, did he?
I mean, he didn't grow legs either and walk away. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he did sprout some wings. Yeah, the fighters are definitely my favorite part of these. everything else. I mean, they did have the, they did have all the branding and stuff, which was pretty cool. But I don't know. I'm just a Tamagotchi guy.
I seem to. I'm kind of leaning towards these guys. Tamagotchi is just a little alien thing that either lives or dies. And
maybe
take
it's
care of it. This one. I like. I'm kind of digging when I got into the like the Star Wars ones. That's kind of intrigues me more than just a dog or a cat. You know?
Definitely. And I like the monsters with Tamagotchi, the Digimonsters.
Yeah, you get into
Is that what it was?
Digimon after you get into
That goes in. Yeah, I was gonna say that goes into Pokemon. I mean, that's all the pre-base to all that. But Michael,
Actually,
looking into these, huh?
I didn't answer. I didn't say anything about that. I'm not getting yelled at for any comments about Pokemon.
It is, ain't it?
No, Digimon and Pokemon are different. There's two different
all the
things. Two different things. I'm even smart enough not to do that. So yeah.
Aaron, it's not me.
You can yell at me all you want.
Go after John.
He's not yelling at me this
Michael,
time.
Did you do any research into the cemeteries and stuff they made for any of these digital pets?
No. What did you get into that?
Apparently in England,
England.
Someone created a cemetery for your digital pets. You can actually go purchase a little box and bury them. And they have, I was kind of scrolling through and that kind of threw me off. And I was like, wow. But I know, as like you said, with the Looney Tunes and the others, they don't really die. They just dismiss you or leave you. So, but I know, like some of the psychiatrists and stuff, when these first came out, they were worried about kids not taking death serious or thinking death is not permanent.
Yeah, just a reset button on it.
Yeah, you push the reset button and it keeps going. So death, something dies, you just reset it. You know,
this is disturbing, John.
Doesn't work. Well, I mean, I thought it was kind of funny that they actually had a cemetery to go bury these things.
People are like burying their. This is disturbing.
There's like websites and stuff or there were when all this came out.
Back when websites were a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did come across a website for instructions and stuff on these things that looked like it was from 1997. So,
they should have made a movie called Giga Pet Cemetery. Come on, Stephen King. You missed one there. I think they definitely have a cool spot. I guess maybe, like I said, because I didn't have one. Maybe it's because all the ones that were around me were Tamagotchis and Digimons, not Pokemons. But maybe that's what it was. Those were the ones that I liked and saw more than anything. So if I was going to get one these days, I might actually get a Tamagotchi or a Giga Pet with the Star Wars or whatever, because those do seem kind of cool. The dinosaurs with Jurassic Park, those are definitely right up my alley. The Batman and Robin ones, I remember those. Those are the cool ones. Just not wasn't my game back then. So we do. Let's go ahead. Let's jump it. There's not a lot here. We just but let's go ahead and rank these boogers. We'll pull up our lists. Where do you guys put these?
I'm actually gonna put this one spot above Tamagotchi.
One spot above Tamagotchi. So way down here at the bottom, down at the bottom. John's gonna put these number one.
No, I was gonna do the same thing. One spot above Tamagotchi.
One spot above Tamagotchi. Okay, for
John's number one is Digipokemon.
Digipokemon.
So they don't make my bottom, but they're one above the bottom.
Mine, something must have happened. Mine's actually already on the list, and it's in the wrong spot.
So did you put your Giga Pet.
No, because my
Tamagotchi.
my Tamagotchi's up here
Oh,
in
yeah,
10.
there you go.
These would actually be number 11 for me. I think they are cool. Like actually looking back at them and some of the branding and stuff like that, I think they're pretty cool. So,
So you're going 1 under.
I'm gonna go 1 under,
That's
but I
what
don't know
makes
why it's way down here.
Mine one spot higher than Tamagotchi is because of the licensing and stuff like that. I think it'd be cool to have. Like I'm a Star Wars fan. I like having Yoda or R2D2 or Rancor or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually going in right now to find out why mine showed up early. Yeah. So we do also we've had a few weeks off from being able to hear from our good buddy Larry, but we do have a message from Larry to let us know if he had these or not. So what do you guys think?
I think yes. I think we talked about it last week. I think he had.
I think he had
one. I don't know if he had Giga Pet and a Tamagotchi, or I think he definitely had a virtual pet.
He had a digital pet.
Okay, yeah, well, let's see. What do you think, Larry?
Digital pet.
Hey, it's Larry from the STS guys. What's going on, everybody? It's been a minute, huh? Giga Pets. Giga Pets is basically a Tamagotchi ripoff. So no, I did not have a Giga Pet, but I totally had a Tamagotchi. Mine was yellow. And fun fact, when I was just in San Diego Comic-Con last July, they had a Tamagotchi booth. And I got a brand new Tamagotchi, SDC exclusive Tamagotchi. So yeah, nice. Team Tamagotchi all the way, man.
See, cool. Right there. So Larry, I'm gonna get a photo of this Tamagotchi that he got, this SDCC one, and we'll share it out. And I knew that he had a Tamagotchi before that, because I don't know if you guys saw our good buddy Manny posted about our episode, and Larry did comment on it. That he did have one, and Manny's response to that was, "Of course you did, because you've got 99% of the toys that the new ones talk about."
I did see that. Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, he did have a Tamagotchi. No Giga Pet, but you were right. He did, like I said, it was one of those things. You were either one or the other. You didn't really have both. Not, or at least maybe not many people. You're one or the other, and like Larry was like me, we were Team Tamagotchi. So. I don't know. Pretty cool. I like the digital pet thing. It's something that was trying to make things interactive. They are annoying now when they beep, but I think you could turn the audio off on them.
Well,
teachers
did y'all watch the commercial? Like the original commercial for these?
I did last week. I watched the Tamagotchi one.
Everyone's grabbing their cell phones because the little pets were going off, and they're like, their cell phones are like this big.
Yeah.
The Zach Morris cell phone?
They literally were like, "Hey, is that my cell phone?"
The Zach Morris cell phone.
Yeah.
So they had cell phones. They were just bigger cell phones.
Yeah.
But
you had to carry a bag. Remember when you had to carry a bag to have a cell phone?
No, either that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you had to have some way to carry the phone because it was so large. Like it was a backpack, or the bag phones obviously too, but like you couldn't just put it in your pocket because they didn't fit.
Yeah.
No.
Until we got into wearing
put it in your wife's purse.
Pockets were huge. Put it in your wife's purse. I mean, at that point, none of us were married, so none of us had wives that had purses.
No.
They wouldn't even fit in a fanny pack, so you can't even go there. Like it's kind of ridiculous. So, anything else we want to add about Tamagotchi or Giga Pets? Either one?
No.
All right. Well, we're not going to talk about digital pets again. Michael, you did brush over all the other ones. Everybody had a Giga Pet. Or
there was some. There's not much information about the other. They're just all digital pets.
Yeah, and they all kind of had the same. They weren't all the same shapes, but they all had the same functionality.
One thing, I got to look at these trying to figure out what their pets were called and stuff. Really, the only thing I figured out, I didn't look at the Playmate toys. But some of these other, I was trying to figure out, like I didn't know who Fujitsu was, and right now it's the 6th largest IT company in the world.
Yeah.
It's in Japan. PF Magic, I never even heard of that. They're a video game developer who's now They've been bought several times since the '90s, and they're part of Ubisoft now. Is what I said. They're the only ones I actually saw names for their pets. The dogs with a Z and cats with a Z. I figure Casio or Sega. Those are of course they probably had something, but Viacom, New Media. That's a media conglomerate. It's what CBS and all that kind of stuff all together. It's they're called something now. Probably you got Paramount and all that. So I wouldn't have thought a media conglomerate has a virtual pet, or Fujitsu. It's just an IT company, but they had some too. So
I wonder.
Yeah, it was kind of weird on some of these companies that jumped in on that fad.
I have a friend that works for Viacom. I wonder if he knows, like, if they have any about this in like their orientation. At one time, we were digital pet people.
Yeah, cause I looked on their Wikipedia and it had nothing. It said nothing on digital pets. All their other stuff. So.
To me, that was like going to the Dallas Morning News and talking about the Q Cat. Nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
Unless you were there long enough to like have one, you don't know anything about it because it was a failure. And yeah, nobody talks about it. I used to have my Q Cat sitting on my desk because people were like, "You were young. How did you know what a Q Cat was?" I was like, "Come on, of course I knew what a Q Cat was. They're freaking amazing, and so stupid." But yeah. Okay. Well, with that, I gotta find my notes. I closed my notes. Be sure you go check out Cross Streams Media. There's lots of different podcasts there. We have a bunch of sister podcasts there. Lots of great content. You can go there. You can leave us a voicemail, kind of like Larry did. We are getting very close. This is episode 97. So we're getting very close to our episode 100, and we would love to hear from you. What was your favorite toy that we've talked about? What was your favorite episode, basically, that we've done? And what is there anything you want us to talk about in the next couple of seasons? Because once we get to episode 100, that'll be wrapping up season 2, and basically our second year. It's gone a little bit longer, but than an actual year. But that's wrapping up our second year of doing podcasting, and we'd like to know from you, what would you like to hear from us talk about in season 3 as we continue on and we kind of find out more information.
I went back and looked at our list of toy lines that we still have on there. We still have over 80 left on our list, and we're always adding as I'm researching others.
More pop up.
Some more pop up, and so we're adding. So right now, I mean, we've still got 80 more before. If we don't add anything else, we still got 80 more to do before we're done. But I'm sure we'll add even more to that. So
we'll add more. But we also want to know
at least another 20.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to know what you guys want. Like, if you're a listener, we want to know what you want to hear us talk about, because that's how we get that engagement. That's how we get more listeners, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talk about the things that you guys want to hear. So let us know. Leave us a voicemail. We'd love to play it. Episode 99 and episode 100 are going to be a little different. We're going to talk about a few different things. So we're not going to talk about specific toy lines, but it's going to be a little different. I think you'll like it. It'll be a lot of fun.
And we've got one more toy line to talk about before we hit 100, and we'll have we should be ready for our next bracket as well.
Yep, that's why we're cutting that off there, actually, and doing something fun for 90, 99, and 100, because we're going to cut a toy bracket off there, and we're going to start a new toy bracket with episode 3, or with season 3. So it's a lot of fun. We really enjoy this, and we love that we've got some followers that like to listen. So if you could go to crossstreamsmedia.com, find our podcast. We're one of the ones towards the bottom or whatever, but you can find that. You can also find that link on toyrewindpodcast.com. Leave us a voicemail, and we'll play it here. We'll talk about, we'll give you answers back. If you have answer questions for us, we'll give you those back, and we want to hear. So let us know what you would like to hear from us, what your favorite episode that we've done, what your favorite toy that you had when you were a kid, almost anything that has to do with toys. Feel free to send it over to us. We'd love to hear it. We're getting close to that. So we may have some giveaways going on with episode 100. I know I have some Funko sodas here that are deserving of a home that need to go. So we may be doing a couple of giveaways with that too. So be sure to send us those voicemails, and we'll be sending out some more social media this week to kind of remind some more people about that. So do that. Anything else you guys want to add?
No, I think we've covered everything. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, with that, we appreciate you listening to episode 97. It's been a lot of fun talking about digital pets the last 2 episodes. It'll be a little bit interesting. We're back into some action figures next week. But yeah, digital pets, nice little stop off for us. So on behalf of the Brothers Newland here at the Toy Rewind podcast, play on.
You've been listening to the Toy Rewind podcast. Follow and join in the conversations at toyrewindpodcast.com.